Chapter 12. Would President Barack Obama reverse the cycle of history? President Obama inherited a failing economy caused in part by the housing bubble burst during the mid-2000s. The subprime mortgage crisis was spurred by loosening regulations in the 1990s, where many banks issued mortgages during the Bush administration to lower-income families that would not have previously qualified for said mortgages. This bubble eventually burst, and by the end of 2011, houses had lost, on average, 25% of their value, exceeding the decline in housing values in the Depression era. This housing collapse, coupled with the rising unemployment rates, created what is known as the Great Recession. Obama was the underdog in the presidential primaries against Hillary Clinton. He favored relatively liberal policies, including reforms in healthcare, immigration, education, and environmental regulations. He pledged to defeat al-Qaeda while withdrawing troops from Iraq, appealing to both conservatives and liberals alike on this issue. Obama was the first multiracial candidate for president and served as a role model for many minority identities in America. He had a landslide victory in 2008 and came into office with a majority of Democrats in Congress, allowing for laws to be enacted with little resistance from Republicans. In 2009, Obama enacted the American Recovery and Investment Act, more informally known as the Stimulus Plan. This was a social welfare measure in disguise. Government officials emphasized its effects on improving the economy rather than on the actual content of the plan. The act dedicated $787 billion over the course of several years to rebuild the economy, expending 50% more resources than the entire New Deal package. However, Obama did not receive the credit he was due for enacting the stimulus plan during midterm elections because he failed to emphasize the initiatives in the bill to the public. Obama believed that the U.S. had too many open-ended commitments around the world and was particularly critical of Bush's decision to invade Iraq. He committed the nation to withdrawing troops from Iraq and sent them instead to Afghanistan to train the Afghanis to battle the Taliban and end corruption with the Afghan government. To ensure American interference was limited, Obama set a 16-month withdrawal deadline to remove soldiers from Afghanistan. Obama was dedicated to improving American relations with the Muslim community in the Middle East and at home by advocating for Muslim rights, banning the use of torture on anyone imprisoned for terrorism, and pledging to close Guantanamo Bay. One highlight of Obama's career was winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009. Obama found the American healthcare system unacceptable due to the sheer number of people left uninsured. In 2010, the Affordable Care Act was created. It provided insurance for 32 million Americans that were previously uninsured, increased competition among private insurance plans, and provided adequate health care to many medically underserved areas of the country. The ACA had critics on the left and right side of the political spectrum. Liberals wanted a universal health care system to ensure equal access for all, while conservatives wanted a free market health care system with no government interference. Obama won the 2012 election against Mitt Romney, and Democrats gained seats in both the House and the Senate. Obama's State of the Union address in 2013 laid out the agenda for his second term, focusing on immigration reform, gun control, climate control, economic growth, and the implementation of the ACA. Obama made great strides in the social and economic initiatives, pushing a liberal agenda throughout his 2 terms. Obama fell short of creating immigration reforms and climate control policy, largely due to a gridlocked Congress. We continue to oppress marginalized groups within our society, including the poor, with the growing wealth disparity in our country, women, who still do not receive equal pay to their male counterparts, and immigrants, with bureaucratic barriers that make the immigration process unnecessarily complex and drawn out. Although Obama's successor has a vastly different set of values, Obama's achievements in large shifted the mindset of the nation toward a more progressive society.